Hello and welcome. This is the Google Home Smart Speaker with Google Assistant. Now, Google wants you to make their speaker the center of your smart home. But does it make a good roommate? Or are you going to be leaving it passive-aggressive notes on the refrigerator until it moves out? It's actually a true story. This is a product I was really keen to review. See, when I was a kid, I was basically obsessed with Star Trek TNG. I dreamed of having a computer I could talk to and one that would talk back to me. I do things like change the system sounds in Windows to mimic the chimes computers made on that show, and I was always playing around with software that promised to let me control my computer with my voice. Well, my dream is closer to reality than ever. Today's digital assistants and the hardware they run on are genuinely useful and fun, though it doesn't take you long to run up against their limitations. Yes, Google Home arrived on the scene a little later than Amazon's Alexa, but it looks to me to be a strong contender. Let's start with a quick look at the hardware. Google Home, which costs $129 US or 179 Canadian, has a plastic upper half and separate plastic base covered in fabric. Up on top, there are two microphones. There's a 12 multicolored LED that forms a ring, and that shines white to display current volume level. It moves and changes color to indicate that it's listening, and it shines amber when the microphone is muted. What I really liked was that the entire top surface is a touch panel. So you tap once to play or pause, you tap and hold to activate the assistant, and you tap and slide to change volume. On the back, you're going to find the mute button and a power indicator, and the power connector plugs in right here on the bottom. Let's take a closer look at the base. Google actually sells replacement bases in different colors and materials. So for 20 US, you can get other colored fabric bases, and for 40 US, you can get metal bases in different colors. In Canada, you can only purchase metal bases, of course, and they're $55 Canadian. Overall, I'd say the aesthetic is similar to the Bose Revolve Plus, which I just reviewed, which is kind of a perfect aesthetic considering the device's purpose. Something like this, you don't want to draw a lot of attention to itself. It's designed so that it'll fit in well with most furniture and decor, and so that it's there when you need it, but it disappears when you don't. Google Assistant is what brings Google Home to life. That's the next iteration of Google Now, but it's more conversational and it's able to understand context. It lets you accomplish a pretty wide range of tasks, though it does less if you live in Canada than in the US because Google's third-party actions framework for developers isn't yet available here. You can ask it to play music, answer questions about people and places, manage your schedule, and control smart devices. So how it works is it's always listening for one of two phrases, either OK Google or Hey Google, and this is where questions about privacy come up. The Home does try to respect your privacy, at least a little bit. What it does is it processes everything it hears locally on the device itself. It listens for those wake words, but it doesn't store or send anything to Google servers until after the wake words are spoken. It's what you say after the wake words that gets packaged up and sent to Google so their servers can figure out what you said and how to respond. Now, that's not a complete answer to privacy concerns, but this approach does lessen the impact somewhat. I actually want to explore the privacy implications of smart home devices more fully in a future video, so if you're interested in that, please let me know in the comments. For now, you might be glad that there is a mute button on the back that disables the microphone. Of course, unless it physically disconnects the microphone, this feature can be circumvented by software. The two microphones use far-field technology, which basically means they're better at hearing you when you're far away from the speaker, and it's pretty sensitive. Google Home's able to hear and understand me without me having to raise my voice. I can speak at a normal volume, even quietly. What was really impressive is that it can hear me even when it's playing music or audio at high volumes. You just have to speak a little bit loudly, and that can sometimes feel like you're shouting. All right, let's take a look at how this thing actually works. I'm going to take you through some example commands. Let's start by playing music. You can use Google Play Music or Spotify.
Hey Google, play Katy Perry on Spotify.
Okay, here's Katy Perry on Spotify.
You can get weather directions. You can ask how long it will take to get somewhere.
Hey Google, how long is it going to take to get to work?
With heavy traffic, it will take 8 minutes to drive to work.
You can translate phrases from one language to another. You can ask about people, places, or things.
Hey Google, who's President of the United States?
The President of the United States of America is Donald Trump.
You can control smart devices, like the lights I have in my apartment, or the thermostat.
Hey Google, turn on all the lights.
You got it, turning 3 lights on.
What I liked best was that you could cast to a compatible device. So if I want to cast YouTube or Netflix, I can just ask Google Home to send it to my TV, which has a Chromecast attached, and then the Chromecast will turn on my television, switch inputs, and start playing. How cool is that?
Hey Google, play lazy game reviews on my TV.
Sure, playing lazy game reviews from YouTube on Living Room.
There are a lot of other things you can do with Google Home, and I'm going to post a separate video shortly in which I go through many more examples of requests and responses. So look for that. I want to finish by talking about audio quality because it is a speaker after all. The audio is nowhere near as good as the Bose Revolve Plus, but it's on par with less expensive Bluetooth speakers. I'd say the top volume might not be enough for some situations, like when you're listening from another room or during a party, but it's pretty loud. Bass is there, but it's only average. Mids and highs have good separation, but they're not anything special. So this isn't my favorite way to listen to music, but I wasn't disappointed either. In fact, I'd often choose to listen on the Google Home instead of my headphones, for example, just because of the convenience. So the future I dreamed of when I was a kid isn't here yet, but it's tantalizingly close. The devices and platforms are being put in place as we speak by Google, Apple, Microsoft, and even Facebook. They just need to keep at it. In the meantime, Google Home does enough, and it does it well enough that it justifies the price. Amazon's Alexa is also a really strong offering, though it's only available in the US. And who knows what Siri and Apple are going to do with the HomePod, though I don't expect much. But if you're already deep in Google's ecosystem, or you live in Canada, I think you'll be happy with Google Home. Thanks for watching this second episode of Teddy Tech TV. If you liked it, please click like and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave me comments letting me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you want to see from the channel in the future. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.